Chapter 5. The jungle shimmered under the rising moon, thick with incense, music, and the low, steady thump of distant drums. Bamboo torches lit the winding path to the solstice circle, their flames casting flickering shadows on the dirt trail. The air was warm, heavy with the scent of frangipani and something deeper: smoke, sandalwood, and possibility. Daniel stood at the edge of it all. Zoe had left hours ago, her eyes gleaming with anticipation. She hadn't said much when he told her he might not go, just looked at him in that frustrating older sister way that said, "Don't be an idiot." And yet here he was, drawn forward, still unsure why. He followed the sound of voices until the trees opened into a clearing filled with bodies moving in slow, reverent rhythm. People swayed around a large central fire, flickering like a heartbeat in the dark. Some danced, others meditated. A few held hands in silent stillness. The entire space buzzed with energy. Ancient, electric, tender. He spotted Luna immediately. She stood near the fire, barefoot, her white dress flowing like water over her frame. Her hair was loose tonight, cascading in waves over her shoulders, adorned with a thin crown of woven marigolds. She glowed, not just from the firelight, but from something else entirely. Peace, maybe. Power. She hadn't seen him yet, but Bodhi had. The other man sat on a drum at the edge of the circle, slapping out a slow, primal rhythm. His gaze met Daniel's, unreadable. Then he smiled faintly and gave a small nod. Daniel returned it. And for the first time since Bodhi had appeared, Daniel felt no trace of jealousy. Only clarity. This wasn't a competition. It was a choice. He stepped into the circle. Luna turned. For a moment, the sounds fell away. The music, the fire, the voices, all became background noise to the look in her eyes when she saw him. Surprise, relief, and something else, something open and unguarded. "You came," she said. "I wasn't going to." Her smile faltered just a little. "But then I realized I'd regret it," he added. "For a long time." She stepped toward him. "Daniel." "I don't know what this is," he said, "or what it means after I get on that plane. I don't know how to fit your world into mine, or if I even want to go back to the world I came from. But I know this." He took a breath. The drums pulsed around them like a second heartbeat. "You make me feel like there's more. Not just more life, but more me. And I didn't even realize how much I'd been missing." Her eyes shone, soft and sure. "I don't want you to be anything but yourself." "That's the scary part," he said. "I'm not sure who that is anymore." She reached for his hand. "Then let's find out. Together." He didn't kiss her, not right away. He simply stood there holding her hand as the fire warmed their skin and the music surged. Around them, people began tossing small slips of paper into the flames. Intentions, wishes, regrets. Letting go to make space for whatever came next. Luna pressed something into his palm, a folded square of parchment. He looked down, then back at her. "What is it?" "A leap," she whispered. His fingers trembled slightly as he unfolded the paper. Inside, in her looping script, was one word: stay. Time slowed. He felt the weight of everything. The months he'd spent running on autopilot, the expectations back in New York, the cold marble floors of his office, and the sterile skyline out his window. And then he thought of the waterfall, the mango slices, the barefoot hike, the way she laughed when he finally got his shoulder to cooperate in pigeon pose, the falling, the floating, the landing. He looked back up at her, eyes wide. "Are you asking me to?" "No," Luna said gently. "I'm inviting you. There's a difference." Daniel stood there, his entire life at a crossroads. The old him would have needed a spreadsheet, a pros and cons list, a 6-month plan. But the man standing in the firelight didn't want a plan. He wanted presence. He stepped forward and dropped the slip of paper into the fire. It curled into flame, igniting in a brilliant flash before dissolving into ash. Then he turned to her, cupped her face in his hands, and kissed her. Not like the last time. This kiss was not tentative, not a question. It was a vow. Around them, the circle swelled. Cheers, drums. Someone began to sing. The jungle echoed it all back, amplifying the wild, messy, beautiful magic of the moment. And for the first time in years, Daniel Carter didn't feel like a man on vacation. He felt that this was home. The music faded into the night, but the hum of it lingered in their bones as they slipped away from the circle. Luna led him down a narrow trail, the glow of the torches behind them casting long shadows across the jungle floor. The air buzzed with cicadas, warm and thick with frangipani and wood smoke. They didn't speak. Not yet. Finally, by the riverbank, beneath a canopy of palms and stars so bright they looked close enough to pluck from the sky, she stopped. "I know," she said softly, turning to him. Her eyes, still glassy from the firelight and the moment they'd just shared, searched his face. "You want to ask?" He shoved his hands into his pockets, suddenly unsure. "About Bodhi." A ghost of a smile touched her lips, sad and knowing. "Yeah, about Bodhi." She sat on a fallen log by the water's edge, patting the space beside her. He joined her, close but careful, giving her room. The moon cast silver ripples across the river, and for a long heartbeat, only the water spoke. "We weren't lovers," she said at last, voice steady but low. "Not like that." Daniel's jaw flexed, but he stayed quiet, listening. "I met him here years ago, after my first heartbreak. You know the one, the whole pack up your life and run heartbreak." She plucked at a frayed bracelet on her wrist, twisting it gently. "Bodhi found me crying outside a cafe in Ubud. Total mess. And instead of pretending not to notice like everyone else, he sat beside me. Didn't say a word. Just sat. Like solid ground. Like breathing space." Daniel's brow furrowed, trying to picture it. The enigmatic Bodhi, silent and steady. "He pulled me out of that dark place," Luna continued. "Taught me to surf. Made me hike volcanoes. Dragged me to temple ceremonies and drum circles and the kind of wild jungle parties you wouldn't believe." She laughed softly, the sound bittersweet. "He reminded me how to feel alive again. But he was never mine, and I was never his." Daniel tilted his head, watching her. "But tonight, the way you looked at each other—" "Was history," she interrupted gently. "History and gratitude and endings." Her eyes softened, fierce and vulnerable all at once. "Bodhi was the one who showed me how to stay. But you, Daniel, you're the reason I want to." The river gurgled between them, the jungle alive with whispers. Daniel reached for her hand. No hesitation this time, just certainty. Luna laced her fingers through his, palm to palm, the puzzle piece fit that made everything else quiet down. "So," he murmured, a small, crooked smile playing at the edge of his lips. "You're saying I'm not just another tourist fling?" She rolled her eyes, but her grin gave her away. "I'm saying you're home." And under the stars, with the river singing and the jungle breathing around them, Daniel Carter finally, fully believed it.